Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously. So, what do we do? Three, two, one, my juice little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Yes, they are, aren't they? My delicious little babies. Let's just make it even, shall we? Okay, is that three that are gone now? Oh, flip me. There's three lights gone now, my delicious little babies. I think that only leaves about seven, doesn't it? Anyway, my delicious little babies, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? On this very grey day in our old England, my delicious little babies. It's very grey, very wet and very cold, although right at this moment it is not raining, okay? But it has been all night. Well, the time is nearly 12:30 in the afternoon, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, that life is treating you beautifully, and that you've got better weather than what we've got, me and my little babies. Okay, my little babies now then. So I've just seen, I'm going to start this off. I've just seen, is it the Polish president or something? Anyway, I just listened to this short video, yeah. You know, the thing is, I happen to know, a fair number of Polish. And me personally, I get along with, well, I'd say 98% of mankind. But if Poland, I'm not saying that it's not a lovely place, and I'm not saying that, do you understand what I mean? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that if he's such an excellent leader, then for the Polish who came to our country, then, because let's not forget that they can vote. So, the Polish, bless them, who live in our country, they can still vote from this country for a leader. Okay, there we are, because I can, because I've been told so. Okay, my delicious babies, I'm not talking to any of the alternative media who already know this in geopolitics, political. I'm talking to our delicious babies who do not know. Well, if as I would always say, if it's so wonderful, then why aren't all the Polish moving back to their country? I'm not saying that in a nasty way. Ones must not misunderstand what I'm saying. Okay. But for the majority of the Polish, they have made their home here. Okay. So I just thought I'd mention it. But for myself, what do I think of the Polish leader? I think he's a little snake as well. There we are. There we are. He's a snake as well. But of course, the little video that I was listening to, was really lacking the president of Poland, because he's living in Poland at this moment in time. What did he call himself? A guest. So therefore, well, words to effect. I mean, these are not his exact words, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, really, it's important that he says, there we are, nice things, the correct thing. Now, he did agree with a lot of what the Polish president was saying at this Poxy Davos. Do you know what I mean, mad little babies? But no. This is not personal. Because like I've just said, I'll repeat again, I know sorry, I don't need to stumble there, rather a large number of Polish, and to be fair, they're the most beautiful little families going, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong, you've got beautiful families in England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales and beyond. I'm not saying that. It's just interesting how they can vote from England, but then they're not moving back to Poland. It's just food. There we are. Food for thought, my delicious babies. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I do know families, when they go back to Pearland, to go and visit their families, they absolutely love it and they always wish, bless them, that they could spend longer there. But could it be that over time, there we are, the goalposts, there we are, will be moved? Do you see what I mean? So there we are. So families are aware. At least that's my thoughts, my little babies. There we are. Okay. So that's my view, and that's that. Now, something else I want to mention. So I was listening to our lovely UK column, okay, my little babies, and uh, and this is all to do with and there was a part in it, probably the way that because it's not very often that I comment, okay, my little babies, not these days really, okay. I advertise everybody who I advertise, okay, but usually I'll say thank you and bright blessings, or thank you gentlemen, or whatever, and bright blessings, and with anybody not in that way, okay. um but I was trying to explain something here, but it probably just never came across that well. Martin babies anyway. Sometimes that's myself, you know what I mean, Martin babies. But see, a lot goes on in the sea, in the deep blue sea and the deep green sea. Okay, Martin babies, which of course, I've said for whatever o'clock, there we are for years and years and years and years, that, um, earthquakes, for example, they are caused, okay? Just like, where is it, that place in Iceland, where, and then all of the water bubbles up and jumps up. Do you know what I'm talking about? There we are, Martin. So anyway, that's all, designed to do that. Of course, we could say about, there we are, volcanoes as well, that things. Do you see what I'm saying, Martin? Of course, everybody's entitled to their own view. So I'm a woman with a view, so I can have my effing view. So who's not to say that they couldn't shoot up? Because this is something to do with satellites. What happened was my noddle was drifting onto something else as well. But who's to say that you couldn't sort of fire something out of the bottom of the deep blue sea and fire it into the sky? Do you know what I mean, Martin? Just think about it. That's what I'm saying. That's just what I'm saying. And I know that to some, it just sounds like not all the cups in the cupboard, or the lift, certainly does not go to the top floor. Well, I could well assure everybody now, my delicious babies, there's absolutely nothing wrong with my noddle whatsoever. So how do they do these things? And not only that, but you imagine, I mean, they're putting up these satellites, right? These like mini little bloody satellites, right? When they cannot even keep a flipping damn rocket in the air. My delicious babies, do you understand what I mean? So how are they doing this? Anyway, my delicious babies. So that's what I've got to say there. Anyway, like I said, with anything that I say, there we are. It's food for thought, food for thought. Okay, my delicious babies, I'm just saying. I just, I could be listening to one thing, okay, and then I sort of go drifted off onto something else. But somewhere it's got to sort of meet in the middle. Do you understand what I mean? That's how my noddle operates. Do you see what I mean? Okay. But it's just not very easy for others to get me. That's what I'm saying. It's really hard for ones to understand what I'm saying. Okay. But I know what I'm saying. But how did I get them to stick? This is a point. Do you see what I'm saying up there? So doesn't it go to show that we're not that far away? From here down here to there. We're not that far away at all, are we, my little babies? Okay, that's just my thoughts. Okay. Now then, my little babies, so I laugh at myself, but I'm not laughing at myself like I'm a dimwit in Egypt. You know what I mean? I'm laughing at myself because my thoughts are, there's just not many who are just getting what I'm saying. Do you understand what I mean? And I do find that. I'm not being sarcastic, but I do find it rather hilarious. Do you understand what I mean, man? Just to come out, it's okay. I really do. Anyway, so I've got How many have I got? I've got 4 today, my delicious babies. So before it comes back with the install and just cuts me off, this is what it does. And I know what it's doing, and it does it at different times, my delicious babies, you know, for me dog and bone to install. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, and because I keep refusing to install and click off it, okay, I'm not too sure how to stop that from happening. But the point is, it does it at different, there we are, at different times. That's what it does. You'd have to see it to believe it, my delicious babies, okay? Anyway, let me just fast forward and get on with the matters in hand, okay? So, first one. This uploader happens to have 17.9 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? And this probably be a one-off, okay, my delicious little babies. This uploader is called Capital Q. Must keep a handle on it. Quirk, space, capital Z zone. That's the uploader, my delicious little babies, on YouTube. This video is, I think it's just over 33 minutes long, okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, the video should read, now for some may have seen this video, me personally, I have not. I'm about a quarter of the way through it. Anything like this, I happen to enjoy listening to, okay, my delicious little babies. Not too much of it, but I do enjoy listening, okay? But there's something that your man here said at the beginning, and I thought, yeah, I remember that when I was little, yes. Where I felt like, I was only little, so when he said about, I don't know, something jogged me, there we are, it jogged my noddle, and I can remember and I can see where we used to live when I was little, and I felt like I was being lifted up and then I was on a cloud, there we are, and I remember that, but over all these decades, my delicious little babies, I forget about, I genuinely do, okay? It's like I have to have something, there we are, to trigger, you know, me noddle, to get me to remember something. It's like sometimes, okay, it does happen sometimes. I could be walking out my beautiful little Ruby Tuesday. This is all the truth now, my delicious babies, straight up, okay? I could be walking out. Now, I'm only 5 foot, I wouldn't say 3 foot, 5'3" and a bit, my delicious little babies, and I always say the bit is very important, okay, my delicious little babies. Anyway, fast forward. And sometimes I could feel, now this is really hard for me to explain, okay? It's like I can feel as if my body's being stretched. It's really, really hard for me to explain. It's not being stretched in a horrible way, but all of a sudden it's like I go a lot taller. And then I feel, but it's like I've been lifted. We could be lifted. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember that? Is it the Lighthouse Family? Anyway, what year was that song? Anyway, my delicious little babies, and I feel like, you know, like I'm being lifted taller. And the only way to explain is that I'm being stretched. But I cannot physically feel myself being, it's really hard, so hard for me to explain. I cannot physically feel myself being stretched, but I feel like I'm being stretched, and I feel like I'm being made taller, like nearly as tall as a higher tree. There we are, like a higher tree, like that. And I get it even now, mad. There we are, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay, it does happen sometimes. I don't know. I should really, and I keep forgetting to do it. Well, anyway, I do not know when it's going to happen, and then by that time, it's such a wonderful experience that, don't get me wrong, I love being the height that I am, but this is like something else. It's like an angelic. There we are. It's like an angelic thing that's going on. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? That's the best way to explain this. I never needed to stumble there at all. Yeah, they do new things like. You know, like when you have an out-of-body experience. Well, of course, I've had a number of out-of-body experiences. I had one that was really banging good, do you know what I mean? I've still got to find a trance tutor, you know. I need a trance tutor. Do you know what I mean? Because, and I have to have one who's very skilled. Because once you go into trance, you know, you have to have a proper tutor there, okay, who's skilled to get you out of it. Otherwise, this is not good because you're locked in. There we are. You're locked in. Geez, see what I mean? It's really hard to explain. I know what I'm talking about, and anybody else out there, who's very spiritual like myself will know what I'm talking about, okay? But the reason why I never wanted to do trance for years is because I'm not very, how can we put it? I'm not very trustworthy of, do you understand what I mean, okay? And, because, I need to know that somebody can bring me out, there we are, to bring me back again, to bring me out of it. That's what I'm saying. But of course, I've done meditation, there we are, for years. It's like lately, I close my eyes and then all my third eye here, because you've got to remember your pineal glands here, but your third eye's here, yes? And I see all nice green little swirls. Then my third eye gets really stronger and stronger. Do you know what I mean, Martin? Look babies, but I mean, I've always loved meditation. However, some cannot meditate. Anyway, I'm not just going to keep rambling on, but there was something that your man said, there we are, at the beginning of this video, and I thought, yes, it reminded me, there we are, after all these decades. And it is a very light feeling, but I get where your man's coming from. It's really hard to explain, there we are, what it is you're needing to explain. And this is why I've got to find a trance tutor, because the reason why I've got to find a trance tutor is because there we are, there is other information to give. There we are. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. But it's very hard to find one. Believe you me on that one. And at the same time, I'm not going to get ripped off just because they've got the title trance tutor. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have somebody who has a lot of, there we are, heart in what they do as well. You know what I mean? Anyway, so this video should read, interview US Marine Corps vet says ET showed him the end of the world. Okay, Mads, look babies, I'll just quickly repeat this again. Interview US Marine Corps vet says ET showed him the end of the world. Yes, Mads, look babies, and I'm going to listen to the rest of this. It's on YouTube, Mads, look babies, okay? I remember going to see ET. Oh, gosh. I blarted like a titty la la. I really did, Martin Look Babies. Oh, I was so sad watching that film. I really, really was, Martin Look Babies. What year was it? Was it? No. Well, please don't quote me here. I watched it, the whole cinema when I was little. Was it 83? Or anyway, please don't quote me. I know for a fact I watched it in all. That's where I watched it, Martin. Oh, so sad. Poor little alien and little Elliot. Do you understand what I mean? I was really, really sad. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, it was a beautiful film, but it just made me feel really sad as well. How they tried to part them. It was just really horrible to watch. And I was really sad. Okay, mad, delicious, look about. And even to this day, if ever I've watched it again, because I've watched it a number of times, I still blart like a flipping titty la la. Do you know what I mean? Okay, it just gets me really emotional, that film does. But it's hilarious when, when E.T. goes into the fridge and everything, do you know what I mean? And it's like the things that the two of them do, Elliot and, and they're apart, but it's funny what they do, isn't it, man? Anyway. So there are funny parts, but there are sad parts as well, Anyway. Now then, so the next one, Mad, oh yes, we've been seeing a lot of this lately. Now, I used to have a friend decades ago, bless her, and her sons were well into the Simpsons, listening to the Simpsons and watching the Simpsons, Mad. Did she look babies? I was never into it, it just wasn't my kind of thing, you know what I mean? But yeah, they predicted, a lot, didn't they? Yeah, stumbled there. So this uploader, Mad, look babies, is called capital W Wax. Okay, as in wax. Like, oh, I found that candle as well, Mad, look baby. I knew that I put a brand new thick candle somewhere. I knew I did. And then when I was going through one of my cupboards, I thought, you know what? I thought, flipping there. I went, there you are, little candle. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to do a video with my candle, with my beautiful little spirit guard. You know what I mean? And then we'll see what they've got to say when I'm talking. Do you know what I mean? We'll see what they're going to do. How many flickers you're going to get out of them. Okay, marvelous little babies, okay, because they do help me on a day-to-day basis, marvelous little babies. So, of course, I love them so with all my heart. Okay, marvelous little babies, and I love so with all my heart, my little angels. Now then, so this one is called Uploader, capital W, wax, space, capital yen, U, unfiltered, yen. Okay, my delicious little babies. So it's wax, space, unfiltered. That's the uploader. He happens to have 62,000 subscribers. Like I said, these are just my one-offs, my delicious little babies. They haven't come up on my feed. It's because I've been looking for other videos, and then this is what I came across, okay? There's always method, there we are, to what I do, okay? Sometimes it's in order. Sometimes it's not in order. Okay, my delicious little babies. This video should read... And this, I think, is just over 11 minutes long, is it? They're not very long videos today, my delicious little babies. The Simpsons warned us that 2026 will change everything. Okay, my delicious little babies. So I'm just going to repeat this again for you, shall I? The Simpsons warned us that 2026 will change everything. Yes, my delicious little babies. I do not need to say anything more on this video, okay? Because... but there's a point, there we are, to what I'm saying, there's parts of it, do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies in different years. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention something else as well, just before I continue. So, I happened to see the other day, this escort, it's a really old-fashioned escort, my delicious little babies. It's got to have been, in its day, I don't know, an E or F reg. So, I'm not talking about the new... these new regis and, like that and everything, because, no, I'm talking about way back. There we are. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, of course, that was back all them years ago. I don't know EF. But then the other day, I seen an M reg van. M reg, that's a really old... Now, when I tapped into quack, quack, into DuckDuckGo, my delicious little babies, it came up with, was it 1st of August 1994? I don't know what else did it say. To the, I don't know, there's a date in July 1995. Okay, my delicious little babies, because something made me walk back and look at the reg. Do you understand what I mean? Of course, I will not give out the full registration. You know that. Okay, my delicious little babies. But I thought, gosh, that's a flipping old reg. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, so then, but anyway, I never forgot about it. I kept it stored in my noddle, but then this morning I thought, I must remember, to tell you on my video. So, yeah, so between the months, basically, of August and July, okay, August 1994, what did I just say? August 1994. Yeah, sorry, Martin, babies. August 1994 to July 1995. So what was, there we are, important, there we are, at that time, my delicious little babies, okay? That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm also noticing my delicious little babies on some grass. It's like it's deliberately put there, my delicious little babies. They've got rid of the little chair now, okay? Packets of Doritos. Well, usually you find, what do they call them? Them, them nachos and that. Is it nachos? Is it Mexico? Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, let me just continue a sec, okay? Now, and something else I want to say, this, what's it called? Is it Minneapolis or is it Minnesota? It's one of those, my delicious little babies, and there's a video that's going viral, doing all its rounds, to do with this Somalia young man who got deported from America back to Somalia. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, I've seen a video. I'm not going to advertise. I'm just going to speak very quickly, briefly about this. Um, what is my thoughts? And why do they want to keep, there we are, highlighting this situation? Not only that, there's a you know where I'm on about, Marty Little Babies, where ice baby doom 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 doom. You know that's a song. What year was that, Marty Little Babies? Where apparently in America they have shot somebody else. Okay, no. There is definitely, there we are, something else going on here. Okay, now in one of those, Minneapolis or Minnesota, one of them. Anyway, real terrible snow and everything. Well, no, I totally agree with bless him, not in that way, not in that way. Dear Mag Bitter Truth, next level on YouTube, Martin Schlick Babies, who has still at 15,000 subscribers. Please let his numbers rise and thank you. Well, anybody who I advertise, okay, even these one-offs, okay. Well, he's saying, you know, that weather's not natural. There we are. I totally agree with this. And if you notice that they do different weather, I have, there we are, long time. There we are, long time. They do different weather in different parts of the world to show the state of affairs. There we are, what's going on. Okay. But at the same time, they want everybody distracted. Okay. Clearly, they want everybody against us. They want to, there we are, they want to stir something up now. They want to stir, there we are, stir the pots. You see what I mean? Because ones are going to come out and they're going to be all, you know, annoyed and everything, you know, well, naturally, if they feel like someone's been attacked. But we also must remember, Marta, the babies, there we are, that are crisis actors as well. There we are. We must remember this, okay? I know that ones do not want to hear this. And did anybody note, what's her name? Renee Good, the woman who was shot. Did anybody ever see, you know, do a bit more to see what her other name was? Anyway, you know, there's just a lot more. There we are. There's just a lot more to it, There we are, Martin Schlick Baby is what I'm saying. Which is what I'm saying now about this young Somali man. Now, how do we know that, yeah, he's been placed over there, but how do we know? And then, of course, because if you notice, only certain videos go viral. Do you see what I'm saying, Martin? Babies, Kai? There we are. It's all circle, circle, circle to get one's chatty. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? While other things are going on, there we are, in the world. Do you see what I'm saying, Martin? Babies? Now, who's to say that they're not going to bring him back? And even though the ones are saying, because you're seeing a lot on, let's just say, on the alternative media, even though the uploader asks, you know, to be polite, basically, words to effect, you know, on his videos. Do you understand what I mean, in the comments? Which is fair enough. That's fair enough for any uploader to ask that. Okay. And really, it should be, there we are, honoured. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, okay. But if you're going to wind ones up, there we are. And I was looking at some of the comments and I thought, these are well flipping vex about things. You see what I mean? Okay. But we also have to look at Martin Schlick Babies. What else is going on here? Okay, and why is it that they're solely sort of pointing the finger, there we are, at the Somalians? That's all I'm asking. Martin Schlick Babies, you see what I mean? You have to look deeper, there we are, into things. You see what I mean? Not just on the surface. Do you see what I'm saying, Martin Schlick Babies? That's why I haven't even, you know, I've just sort of skimmed across it. Do you know what I'm saying, Martin Schlick Babies? But please do not be surprised if he was deported, like, to teach him a lesson. Naughty, you've been a naughty boy, you know, coming on his social media and then, like, you know, well, basically taking the pee and cussing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, that really what they've done is, right, okay, let's put you back over there. Because to myself, he never looked to myself like he was that troubled by it. I'd say, there we are, he's a very good actor. Anyway, Martin Little Baby, so please do not be surprised that he lands back in born in the USA, because I wouldn't be surprised one bit, okay? Seems to myself they're using the Somalians, there we are, for scapegoats or something else. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, I've got to go shortly because my dryer's finished, okay? I don't like bad smells. Now then, my delicious little babies, the next one. Okay, I'm just trying to think where to go. Right. Decisions. Right, this uploader happens to have 19.4 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. This is a very good one. Of course, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, they're all very good, but there's a point, there we are, to everything what I'm doing. Okay, my delicious little babies. So, that's it. Capital P, this is the uploader, my delicious little babies. Past, it's two words together, my delicious little babies. Capital L, lies. Lars. Okay, past Lars. Okay, two words together, my delicious little babies. This video is I think just over 43 minutes long. Okay, my delicious little babies. And the video should read Venice's just one cornetto, give it to me, not very lightly, they're 50p. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, Venice's deadly secret. Why were amalgam masters executed? Okay, my delicious little babies. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Venice's deadly secret. Why were amalgams, okay, masters executed? Okay, my delicious little babies. So just very quickly, just very briefly. So what this is about is mirrors. Now, there's a very old-fashioned saying which goes back decades and decades, okay? It depends what ones want to believe. But one of the sayings, I'm not saying that this is on this because I'm only a quarter of the way through this video as well, my delicious little babies. But again, I happen to have a very, do not need to stumble, I happen to have a very, let's just say, keen interest in videos like this, okay, my delicious little babies. But I've known for decades. Ones would cover a mirror, say if somebody's passed in a room, very sadly, and they have passed over, especially if their eyes are open. So if there's a mirror in the room, my delicious little babies, and you know what? I actually, there we are, do believe in this, my delicious, there we are. Went all across my shoulders and yet my room's warm. Do you understand what I mean? That doesn't mean no. Okay? If somebody's eyes are open when they pass, very sadly, okay? And there's a mirror in the room, whoever looks at that dear man or woman who's passed in the room, okay, well, basically they'll take whoever's who's going to be next. Okay, that's why they always say, you know, you must close, you know, somebody's eyes as soon as you can. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies? But it's to do with the mirror and to do when somebody passes. I know what I'm talking about, my delicious little babies. There's going to be some out there, my little beautifuls, okay? You know what I'm talking about here, okay? But I do believe in things like this now then. There we are. I'm a very firm believer in it, okay? So what this is about is that mirrors were made very differently if we go back, okay? Not like how they're made now. It's like I was talking, wasn't I, on one of my videos, but my videos just do not get out. But there's always somebody seeing and there's always somebody hearing, okay? And what I was saying is when I went to that haunted house and you put a little red light bulb and my boat race changed 7 times. So that was spirit. So they're going through me and my bow trace changed, my face, 7 times, okay? So because this was passed down from father to son, so nobody could know the secret, okay? So if say, for example, if the secret was going to get out, okay, this is when these ones disappeared or something happened, very sadly, okay? It's really interesting, my delicious little babies, okay? when you hear the start of it, it's what I call it takes a little bit of time, there we are, to warm up, okay? But please do not get bored at the beginning. It's right at the beginning where you probably think, well, come on, just get on with it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, okay, because we've all done that with videos, Martin, just thinking, come on, wind it up, you know what I mean? What is it? Wind up the bobbin. Do you know what I mean, Martin? Babies, okay? So, you know, but please, it does get really, really more interesting, okay? There's a point to everything that I do, okay? Now, finally, Martin's little babies for flipping, he's ready to install, okay? Martin's little babies, that's what it does, it just cuts me straight off, you know. I don't like this word, you know, because we seem to hear it rather a lot, but if it just cuts me off dead, you know what I mean? So I cannot say nothing else. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. So it's not myself. I'm not doing it deliberately. It just happens. Okay, Martin little babies. Okay. You know, whoever's messing, you know, there we are at the other end. You know what I mean? Martin little babies. Anyway, finally, this uploader, right? And I'm going hip hip hooray to this one. 3.96 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? Again, like I say, with these one-offs. And this is called capital B, this is the uploader, British space, capital B, bulletin. Is it bullet? Yes, bulletin. Okay, my delicious little babies. So that's the uploader. British space bulletin. Okay, on YouTube, my delicious little, well, they're all on YouTube, okay? And this here is about 13 minutes something long, okay? And the video should read, it's only been uploaded hours ago, my delicious little babies. So some of you may know about it. I'm pretty sure the alternative media will know, okay? And some of you may not. Starmer breaks farmers force store closures. That's the way it's worded, okay? Starmer breaks farmers force. No, see, there was supposed to be something else there. I don't know if it's a comma or something. Okay. So let me just do this again. Rewind and start again. Starmer breaks. Okay. Farmers force store closure. See, I've got it right this time, Martin. Babies. Hyphen Tesco can't stock shelves. Blockades spread. Okay, Martin, little babies, I'm just going to quickly repeat this again. Starmer breaks, farmers force store closures, Tesco can't stock shelves, blockade spread. Yes, Martin, little babies, now I'm going to close my book. So what is it that I've got to say? Oh, yeah, my lights are on, okay? I thought my lights are... Do you know something happened? I thought my lights were out, mind you. They're still playing games with the flipping... lamppost outside my delicious little babies. It's not happening with anybody else's lamppost in the road or anything. It's only happening with my delicious little babies directly across my flat, you know, from there to my flat, my delicious little babies, okay? Anyway, I'm not sure what silly games they're playing, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I don't know, they could be testing for something. I don't, testing, you know what I mean? My delicious little babies. Anyway, so what is it they want to say about this? Go on, farmers, go on. Do you know what I mean? I'm really highly delighted about this because the reason why, because they're not giving up, are they? You see what I'm saying, okay? Now, what is it, this uploader, what is it she's saying? That Starmer's saying he's monitoring it. He's monitoring it because he's not prepared to back down to do with the passing away tax. That's what they serve. Well, anyway, the farmers, bless them, this is just figure of speech, Martin, babies. They're really digging their heels in now, okay? So basically what's happening is around the country, ones are not being able to stock their shelves. Well, you see, if you look at this a different way, Martin, babies, there we are. This is a really damn good thing. Now, why am I saying this? Yes, I know that it's going to be... well, yes, it is going to be an inconvenience, okay? But if we look at this a different way, there's another way we can flip in. Bend me, shake me, any way you want me. As long as you love me, it's all right. You know what I mean, Martin? Baby. Oh, what year was that song? It's just came into my noddle. Anyway, back to the matter in hand. So, what's the next steps? So, You got the food not being delivered, right? Just please hear me out here, my delicious babies, okay? Next point of call. So because ones cannot get, do you know what I mean? Even though, it could be eggs, milk, this type of thing now. So next best thing now, you get trucks, okay? Uh, for more and more to find out about this, okay, my delicious little babies, then the trucks all over the country, okay, can then go to different areas, different cities, different roads, to all different roads, okay. Then ones, unless some grow everything themselves, okay, my delicious little babies, but for anybody else, then just, stop on the road, okay, let everybody know what day of the week that they're going to be arriving, okay, and then everybody go to the truck. There we are. Okay, my delicious little babies, and this is how it should, there we are, rock and roll. Because what they're also talking about is the petrol and diesel. Because, of course, so in this little video, okay, so I feel that this is a good thing. Now, because the farmers are not willing to back down, this, I feel, could put, not only our dear farmers, but us, there we are, as a country, in a far better position, okay? Because then when you start buying from the farmers, okay, they get into their rhythm. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious babies? We get into our rhythm, then we're all helping each other. So we're helping them, okay? And of course, they're helping us with the food, and fruit, vegetables, yogurt, milk, eggs, butter, cheese. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, my delicious babies. For ones who eat fish or for ones who eat meat, my delicious babies. Okay, there'll be a truck for everything. Do you know what I mean? For whatever o'clock. And then ones that get into that, and then what's it going to do, my delicious babies? Well, it's going to up all of the flipping supermarkets, isn't it, my delicious babies? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Now, there's plenty of videos, my delicious babies, of how to make your own shampoo, how to make your own soap, how to make your own, shower gel and everything like this, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. See, I feel, there we are, this could be, there we are, an excellent thing. So it starts out as a tiny little snowball, right? Then it starts to snowball. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Now, I've seen another video. I never clicked on it. I only seen to do with a Coca-Cola, because it's in the name, isn't it, my delicious little babies? Well, the fact of the matter is there a factory or something? I mean, I'm hoping that it's not AI, but anyway, I never clicked on it anyway, my delicious little babies. But the point of the matter is, if it is true, then there's a problem selling the Coca-Cola, okay? So, of course, according to this, I only seen the number on, how much my delicious little babies on the front of the video. I never clicked on it, and I'll just repeat that again, my delicious little babies. We'll put it this way, because they were missing some days of not being able to sell the Coca-Cola. Well, what happens? What have I been saying a long time? Well, what happens is, there we are, they're losing a lot of the ka-ching, ching, ching, aren't they? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, my delicious little babies. So I feel, if you look at this, I'm looking at this from a different angle. There are many different angles to look at anything, my delicious little babies, but what I'm saying is, I mean, you can make your own fruit juices. Orange juice, apple juice, pineapple juice. Okay, you can make your own creams. Okay, when we look at YouTube, okay, even though YouTube shadow bans me, does everything to me, my delicious little babies, okay, because they get very upset with me. They keep putting me on flipping that little tape. They don't like to show me birth rates, as if to say, when I'm putting my title, it's all grey, light grey and dark grey, as if to say, here you go again. When are you going to listen? When are you going to listen? Me a Tara Virgo. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Well, the fact of the matter is, well, no, I'm not listening. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay, so to YouTube. No, I'm not, because I'm not doing anything wrong. So I'm not going to be treated like I'm a little flipping toddler, because I'm a grown woman. I'm a big woman. Do you know what I mean, Mads? Little babies, anyway. Get back to the matter in hand. So if we look at YouTube, okay, it has given us, there we are, a lot of really positive things. Okay, Mads, little babies, okay? So yes, there's a lot going on in the world, but if we're all focusing on this, okay, our farmers, okay, will be helping us, we'll be helping them, okay, then it means that not so many will then be beholden to the supermarkets, my little babies. It's just like when my beautiful, I love my beautiful dear little nanny and granddad, so I've already said good morning. So when they were younger, so you never had nappies. You had, that's just came into my noddle, you had terry toweling. And then you had, like safety pins. So ones that have, like wash out all of the little nappies, bless for little bambinas, for little babies. And then you'd have like a load of nappies on the line. Mad little babies, do you see what I mean? All the terry toweling. And then, of course, over time, over decades, they brought in the nappies, the throwaway nappies. You see what I'm saying, mad little babies, okay? At one time, you used to have to, with rugs, you used to have to take them outside, bang them, bash them and everything to get the dust out, clean them. Do you understand what I mean, mad little babies, guy? So, before we had, things like, please do not get me wrong. I mean, I'm very thankful for my little appliances and they're not expensive. However, but if you look at how much more difficult it was then, because it was harder, like I would say that's probably why you go back decades and decades, why you get that saying a woman's work is never done. Do you ever remember that saying, Mads, little babies? Okay, so what's the point I'm making? The point I'm making is it kept the mothers fit, okay, so they're all busy all day long. The Papa Bear was at work. Do you know what I mean? If something happened, like in the war, very sadly, or something, okay, well, the rest of the family would rally around. Everybody would help each other. But over time, it's like, it's become, I don't mean this in a nasty way towards anybody. No, I'm making a point here, but it's like everything's been made lazy. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, so we've got to get back to where you can make things, where you can. Do you see what I mean? So I look at this from a different angle. There we are. That's all I'm saying, my delicious little babies, that how it could be. That's what I'm saying, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? And who's to say that we couldn't, as a country with different farmers and everything, that we couldn't go to the farmers and there we are, and to help them as well. Do you see what I mean? To get back to how whatever o'clock a better time it used to be. That doesn't mean no, my delicious babies. And I'm going to leave my video like that. It's just food for thought. Food for thought. That's all I'm saying. So to anything that looks negative, like somebody cannot get something from a supermarket, well, to every negative there is a positive, isn't there? So that's why we must always have a positive mental attitude at all times, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. There is always a silver lining. Okay, my delicious little babies. So I always like to look at things where we are positively. Do you see what I mean? Okay. What's the old-fashioned saying? Worst things happen at sea. Okay, so wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. And how I love you all so. Okay, thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments. Okay, I know that sometimes ones just think, oh, flip me, here she goes again. Do you know what I mean? But no, there's a point. There we are to everything I'm saying. There we are. There is positivity. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. Okay, so we must lift ourselves. Okay, and embrace it, and we must fully. You know what I mean? Respect the dear farmers, there we are, who are doing all of this, okay? Because if we can rock and roll this, there we are, another way, okay? I reckon that we're well on our way, there we are, to coming out of this trap. Do you see what I mean, Marty, little babies? And that's the end of my video, okay? So, to the farmers, woo! Go, farmers, go! Go, go, go! Okay, my little babies, that's my positive energy to our dear farmers. Okay, my little babies, and it's my positive energy to all of yourselves, my little beautifuls. Okay, how I love you so. Take care. Thank you for listening again. Goodbye.